And we begin with breaking news out of Grand Forks. We now know the name of the 17-year-old suspect charged with murder in a deadly stabbing last week. The teen has been identified in public court documents as Casimir Haskins. Police say a group of people were arguing about relationship issues. They agreed to meet for a fight March 7th. They say the victim, 24-year-old Anthony Economy, had 3 friends with him, while Haskins, they say, came with 6. The two groups started to fight in an apartment parking lot. Police say both groups took video of the fight, which shows Haskins, police say, with a silver straight blade knife. Court documents say Haskins admitted to stabbing Economy once in the chest with a hunting knife. He says he was acting in self-defense.